Gentlemen, if I told you that there are two specific positions that help women over 60 reach orgasm more easily, positions most men have never been taught, would you want to hear the rest? Because once a man understands these two positions the right way, everything he once thought was hard because of age suddenly becomes much lighter, much more natural, and far more fulfilling. Over the years, many men have told me they still want to give their partner a complete, satisfying experience, yet sometimes they're no longer sure if they're doing the right things. And I want you to know something important. A woman's ability to reach orgasm has far less to do with how strong or skilled a man is, and far more to do with angles, the type of stimulation, and the emotional connection created in the moment. Pay close attention here, because the position I reveal at the end is the one many men assume is a guaranteed win, yet science shows the exact opposite. And once you understand why, you may feel a sense of relief, because it's not that you've been doing anything wrong. It's simply the natural structure of a woman's body. Before we begin, I want to ask something simple. Where are you watching from? Over the past few weeks, I've seen men realize they live near each other and start connecting like new friends. It's a beautiful thing, and I'd love to see that continue. And if you're ready to go deeper with me today, to explore the one thing that helps women over 60 finish more consistently, type yes in the comments. We're getting started right now. Have you ever wondered why certain positions that worked beautifully in your 30s or 40s no longer create the same familiar sensation after 60? It's not because anything about you has declined. It's because both of your bodies now operate on a different rhythm. A deeper, slower, more nuanced rhythm. And once you understand that rhythm, intimacy after 60 doesn't become harder, it simply becomes different. In women, even after 60, the clitoris remains highly sensitive, but it requires more direct stimulation to create the same strong response it once did. Vaginal walls can become drier and less elastic. Estrogen levels drop, making emotional connection far more influential than physical stimulation alone. That's why positions with face-to-face contact, shared breath, and eye contact tend to create a much higher chance of orgasm. For men, blood flow to the pelvic region naturally decreases with age. The hips become less flexible, the pelvic floor weakens slightly, and the heart rate doesn't surge as quickly as it used to. This makes high-intensity positions harder to maintain, while positions that rely on the right angle and steady, controlled movement become far more effective. When a man understands that he doesn't need force to compensate for age, and that he simply needs positions that match the body's natural changes after 60, something shifts. Confidence returns, connection feels easier, and pleasure comes more naturally for both partners. Position 1. Missionary with a pelvic elevating pillow. The first position that science consistently shows gives women over 60 the highest chance of reaching orgasm is a familiar one, missionary, but with one small adjustment, a pillow placed under her hips. It may sound simple, but this single change creates a major difference, especially at an age when the body responds in more subtle, precise ways. When you're on top and her hips are gently elevated, the angle of contact naturally shifts into the ideal position to stimulate two key areas at the same time, internal structures and the external clitoris. After 60, most women need some degree of direct clitoral stimulation to reach orgasm, and the pillow helps bring that area into exactly the right place for the kind of friction their body responds strongly to. The effectiveness isn't about a repetitive in and out motion. What truly makes the difference is the gentle forward and back glide. That movement creates steady pressure and continuous contact on the clitoris, something research consistently identifies as the main driver of orgasm for women, especially after 60. This position also offers a benefit few people talk about: the closeness. At this age, emotional connection plays a powerful role. Eye contact, shared breathing, holding hands. These small details engage the parts of the brain responsible for intimacy and greatly increase the likelihood of orgasm. For men after 60, this position is also easier physically. There's no need to rely on strong hip thrusts or high-intensity movement. Maintaining a steady rhythm and focusing on angle does most of the work. And when the body isn't straining, your breath stays steady, helping you stay present, connected, and in control. A simple pillow creates a beautifully aligned combination of physiology, emotion, and comfort for both partners. And it's this combination, not strength, not speed, that opens the pathway to deeply satisfying pleasure at this stage of life. Position 2. Woman on top, leaning forward. The second position that science shows delivers the most consistent orgasms for women over 60 is when she's on top. But the key is that she leans her body slightly forward. This isn't just a simple variation. It's a position that allows a woman to control exactly how she wants to be touched, while naturally creating the ideal angle for her most sensitive area. When she's on top and leaning toward you, the clitoris naturally aligns with the direction that receives the most effective contact and friction. This becomes even more important after 60, when most women need strong, sustained stimulation in that exact area to orgasm. The forward tilt lets her adjust speed, pressure, and depth based on what her body responds to, something men often can't sense from beneath. This position also offers a major advantage for men over 60. It requires very little physical effort. You can relax, breathe steadily, and focus on emotional connection instead of trying to maintain force or a fast pace. When you rest your hands on her hips or waist and guide her with slow, steady cues, it doesn't just support her movement, it creates a sense of being held and desired, something many mature women respond to deeply. And just like the first position, this one keeps you face to face. The nearness, the eye contact, the sense of being wrapped around each other. These activate the brain's intimacy pathways, helping the body open up and reach pleasure more easily. Many women over 60 describe this position as giving them a blend of two powerful sensations at once: control and being deeply desired. And that combination, feeling safe yet fully wanted, is one of the strongest factors that helps them reach a complete, satisfying orgasm. Although the two positions we've just discussed offer the highest likelihood of orgasm for women over 60, I want you to understand something essential. Pleasure isn't only about choosing the correct position. It's also about movement, freshness, and the sense of unpredictability between two people. After 60, the body may respond a little more slowly, but the heart and emotions do not age. In fact, many couples tell me this is the stage of life when intimacy feels deeper than ever. Variety, in the way you touch, the rhythm you use, the transitions from one position to another, creates an entirely different kind of energy. It reminds both partners that intimacy isn't a duty, it's a dialogue between two bodies, where each shift is a whisper, and each change is a new invitation. Sometimes, all it takes is gently guiding your partner from one position to the next, or creating a new angle or rhythm, and the moment becomes more alive, more engaging, and far more meaningful. What matters most is the sense of initiative you bring into the experience. When a man confidently changes direction, adjusts the pace, or softly offers a cue, she feels the connection and desire behind it. At any age, feeling wanted by the person you love remains one of the most powerful sources of energy and attraction. So consider these two science-backed positions as your foundation, a strong, reliable starting place. But variety is what keeps the experience warm, vibrant, and full of life after 60. Now we come to the part that may surprise many men and possibly disappoint a few. Because the position that science shows is least likely to help women reach orgasm is actually one that many men enjoy the most: doggy style. And I want to make this very clear from the beginning. If she doesn't reach the finish line in this position, it is not your fault. A woman's body simply responds differently from what most people assume. In doggy style, she turns her back to you. This means there's no face-to-face contact, no shared breath, no meeting of the eyes. Elements women over 60 rely on heavily to activate emotional response, which is essential for deeper pleasure at this age. Most women won't say this out loud, but for mature women, the emotional opening is just as important, often even more important, than the physical stimulation itself. The second reason is purely physiological. Doggy style does not provide direct clitoral stimulation, and the clitoris is the primary source of orgasm for most women, especially after 60. Without that stimulation, the likelihood of reaching orgasm drops significantly, regardless of how strong, deep, or fast the movement is. I've heard many men say, But doctor, she reacts so intensely in that position. And they're absolutely right. Doggy style can feel powerful and exciting, with deep pressure and heightened sensation. But intensity does not always equal orgasm. It creates arousal, not the ideal conditions for her to finish. So if you've ever wondered why she enjoys the sensation yet rarely reaches orgasm in this position, you now have the answer. It's not that you're not doing enough. Doggy style simply lacks the two critical components mature women need most: emotional connection and clitoral stimulation. There is a quiet factor that influences the entire intimate experience after 60, and it's something almost every man overlooks: blood flow. Because no matter how perfect the position is, if circulation to the pelvic area isn't strong, the body simply can't feel pleasure as fully, both for men and for women. After 60, the body's nitric oxide levels drop significantly, which means blood vessels don't expand as easily and responses become slower, especially in moments that require arousal. The good news is that the body can still support itself remarkably well through natural foods you can add to your daily routine. Foods rich in nitrates, polyphenols, and L-citrulline help improve vessel function, boost circulation, and support physiological response in a safe, reliable way. Watermelon, for example, is a natural source of L-citrulline, which helps the body produce more nitric oxide. Beets and leafy greens like arugula or spinach are high in helpful nitrates that promote vasodilation. Pomegranate, dark cocoa, and berries provide polyphenols that improve blood flow. Even garlic, a simple, everyday food, has been shown to benefit vessel health and circulation. When the body is nourished with these foods, you'll notice a difference not just in intimate moments, but in daily energy levels as well. Better circulation means your body responds more naturally, more sensitively, and the positions that already work well become even more effective. When you look back at everything we've explored today, you'll see that intimacy after 60 isn't nearly as difficult as many people believe. It simply requires a clearer understanding of the body, a bit more attention to angles, and a gentle awareness of emotional connection. The two positions we discussed, missionary with a pillow under the hips and woman on top while leaning forward, are the ones science shows offer the highest chance of orgasm for women, especially as the clitoris requires more direct stimulation with age. And if doggy style doesn't help her finish, that's completely normal. Now you know why. It isn't because you didn't do enough. It's because that position lacks two of the most essential elements mature women rely on: clitoral stimulation and emotional closeness. With this understanding, intimacy becomes softer, easier, and free of pressure. What's left is harmony, comfort, and two people who have shared decades together continuing to discover one another in new ways. The beauty of intimacy after 60 has nothing to do with speed or strength. It lies in understanding, gentleness, and the way two grown adults can still find newness in each other. With just a bit of attention, a bit of slowness, and a bit of leadership, pleasure returns naturally and beautifully. If today's insights gave you a new perspective, leave a comment and tell me what surprised you the most. I read every single message. And if you'd like more warm, scientific, practical conversations made just for men over 60, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. It helps us stay connected, and it gives me the motivation to continue creating meaningful content for this community.